Episode 91, Gross Yokai You May Not Know. Welcome to Supernatural Japan, the podcast about the darker and sometimes spookier side of Japanese history. My name is Kevin O'Shea, and I'm your host. I'm the person who will introduce you to things that may leave you scratching your head, having a little fright, or in today's case, a little laugh. Japanese yokai are supernatural beings, spirits or unexplained phenomena from Japanese folklore, and they play a major role in how Japanese culture has historically understood the natural world, human behavior, and the unseen. What are yokai exactly? Well, yokai are not a single type of creature. They exist on a broad spectrum that includes monsters and spirits that frighten or harm humans, tricksters who play pranks or create confusion, animal shapeshifters such as kitsune, foxes, or tanuki, the raccoon dogs, tsukumogame, everyday household objects that become spirits after 100 years, and human transformed yokai, people who become yokai due to extreme emotions, curses, or a spiritual imbalance. Now, unlike Western monsters, yokai are often morally ambiguous. They're not purely evil. Many simply follow their own rules and react to how humans treat them. I recently read the book Strange Japanese Yokai, a guide to weird and wonderful monsters, demons, and spirits by Kenji Murakami, and I loved it. In its pages, I learned about some downright disgusting but rather harmless yokai, and I just needed to share them with you this evening. So get ready for a wild and yucky ride. First, we need to talk about the Uboroshiki. In the Kotanami district of Mano in Kagawa Prefecture, many people used to make their living burning wood for charcoal in the mountains. They would typically sleep every day in mountain cabins. And when spending the night alone in these cabins, woodsmen would sometimes be visited by a strange man. This mysterious visitor was actually a yokai called Uboroshiki. At first, he seems polite, sitting cross-legged by the fire, and eventually he reaches under his kimono and pulls out his testicles. That's right, warming them by the fire. And as they heat up, they enlarge and spread out until they look like a giant wrapping cloth called a furoshiki. When large enough, the Uboroshiki launches its special attack, wrapping a victim up in its testicle sac. In most tales, the woodsman throws a burning stick of wood or some charcoal into the Uboroshiki's sack, causing them to flee in agony. That's right. I'm not making this stuff up, guys. Next, we have the Kainade. Tales of yokai called Kainade come from Kyoto, during a time when drop toilets, or sometimes as we call them now in modern days, squatty toilets, the in-floor toilets, were in common use. For unexplained reasons, they only appeared on the night of Setsubun, a festival celebrating the beginning of spring. And when anyone sat on the toilet, the Kainade would raise up a hairy hand and stroke their bottom. That's right. That's creepy. Anyone using a toilet on Setsubun night could ward off the Kainade by simply saying the spell by asking, "Should I use red paper or white paper?" If that was said, the Kainade would keep its hands to itself. Why did it touch people's butts? Why on Setsubun night? Honestly, nothing about this yokai makes sense. And now, of course, Setsubun is coming soon, everybody. All you fantastic Supernatural Japan listeners, and there will be an entire episode about that event coming in the next few weeks. That will be on February the 3rd. That's the date of Setsubun, so you might want to avoid using squat toilets on February the 3rd. Next is the Karasade Baba. Kainade appears on Setsubun, but in the Izumo region, a yokai called Karasade Baba comes out of the toilet on November 26th of the lunar calendar. Even worse, instead of a gentle furry touch of the hand that Kainade gives, the Karasade Baba claws your butt. On that day, both adults and children make sure they go to the bathroom before night falls. Also, in Matsue, around Fure, it's an old man, not an old woman, who hides in the toilet. But, man or woman, this is one naughty yokai. That's another creepy one, folks. Oh, right, we have one last gross yokai to share with you in this mini episode of Supernatural Japan, and this is one that will really turn your stomach. The Shoben Nomi. In Kotanami Ward of Mano in Kagawa Prefecture, there's a yokai that loves human urine. That's right. There are many in that area who make their living burning charcoal in the mountains. They sleep in mountain cabins, and when they have to pee in the middle of the night, they go in a tub outside. But when they wake up the next morning, the tub is dry. Something came out in the night and drank every drop of their urine. No one knows what the Shoben Nomi looks like, as they've never been seen. So they're not dangerous at all, they're just gross. And personally thinking, a discussion we've had in my house when I've been reading this book, why would people assume that if a tub of urine was empty, that something came and drank it? I don't know. There's a lot of questions about this, folks, a lot of questions. Well, thanks for listening to this mini episode of Supernatural Japan. There will definitely be a part 2 about more gross yokai coming in the next few months. Now, if you enjoyed this episode of Supernatural Japan and you aren't already following the podcast, make sure you do so. Also, leave us a rating if you listen on Spotify, and a rating and a lovely review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any friends or family members who are interested in spooky things, folklore, history, and Japan, recommend Supernatural Japan to them all as well. Now, to see what these gross yokai look like, follow us on Instagram at Supernatural Japan. And we also have a Facebook group. You can see lots of photos there. Go check it out. The links are in the show notes. You can follow me, Kevin O'Shea, on Blue Sky and X at Mad for Maple. And I also want to recommend the book, Strange Japanese Yokai, A Guide to Weird and Wonderful Monsters, Demons and Spirits by Kenji Murakami. And you can find that book on Amazon or wherever you buy books. And that's it, folks, for another episode of Supernatural Japan, a mini episode. So everyone out there, be safe. And remember, there may be something or someone lurking in your toilet.